Yesterday, I brought you a video out regarding the subject of vehicle MOTs, and it turned out there was quite a considerable number of MOTs being refused for diesel and petrol engines, not failed, not passed, or anything like that, simply refused. Oh, that's very odd, and I looked into it further. Had some wonderful, wonderful comments on that video, including many from people in the know and former industry professionals. And I thought it'd be a good idea if I brought some of them to you now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're midway through the week, Wednesday. Hope everyone is having a good week so far. And as always, thank you for joining me, Andy the Gabby Cabby, and I appreciate your support. And as I said in the introduction, I wanted to go through some of your comments, which were come about as a result of yesterday's video, some of which I thought were quite cool. So we'll go through some now. Here they are. Right. The first one, you can see diesel and petrol engine cars refused MOT. That's where it come from. So Roger Emberson, 6464. Many years ago, I was an MOT tester. I refused to test two vehicles. The first vehicle's front brake pads had worn down to the metal backing plates and had destroyed the discs. The second vehicle driver's seat wasn't even bolted to the floor. You could just lift the seat out. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, I have a situation where I go in, I get my vehicle checked very, very regularly, and I'm told your brake pads are wearing down, Andy, or your brake pads are wearing down and need changing soon. You're probably going to need new discs as well. So you keep on top of it, don't you? And the amount of people that let it go that far. But I didn't realise you could physically refuse something if it was all destroyed. I thought it would just be an outright failure and back to the garage. But I guess there's no point in actually doing it at all, is there? If you can see it's going to fail. And as for the seat, that's a bit dodgy, isn't it? I had a Mondeo years ago, and the seat actually came loose from the back mountings, where it is, and you adjust it. For some reason, one of the hinges snapped. So for a time, I was driving like this. It was nuts. I managed to get a seat from the scrappies fairly cheaply and replaced it myself. But I guess there's all sorts of conditions where you don't really want to go there, isn't there? Let's have a look at the next one. Ivan, I was a tester too in the 1980s, and we would issue a red failure for the above. I did push the brake pedal on one car. The pipe burst. I issued red, and the bloke blamed me. Haha, didn't get him far. Absolutely. But, let's have a look at some more of these. Brutus of Troy. Here's another one from someone in the know. Honesty, I worked in the motor trade for 15 years. It's not a conspiracy. People just drop basically broken cars off for MOTs. Doors have to open to even pass, so they check them first to avoid wasting their time. In terms of cars being dirty, you're oversimplifying. You wouldn't believe how some cars turn up. We've had incontinent people drop cars off with pee and poo all over the seats. That's disgusting. Use tampons and sanitary towels, etc. It's grim, and the tester has to sit in that to test the instruments, engine, and brake function. I'm actually surprised there's not more refusals than that. That's very interesting. Thank you for your insight. The way the media article made it sound, it sounded like it was just, pathetic. You ain't cleaned your car, so off your pot kind of thing. But there you go. We can't have it all, can we? It's very interesting feedback. So let's have a look at the next one. Stuart W, 7302. As a past MOT tester, I can assure you that this has been around for ages. To successfully test a car, the tester has to be able to open all the doors, the boot, and the bonnet. The doors, for safety reasons, i.e. the car was subsequently involved in an accident, occupants needed to be able to egress. The bonnet to inspect the engine, the boot for access to spare wheel, and to go and check for any corrosion. A car needs to be really dirty before a refusal test is issued, a lot like the last comment. If the tester's safety is threatened by filth and clutter, I've seen some cars where the inside is like a skip. Then it's only right the test is refused. It's easy to criticise MOT stations, but as always, unless the details are known in each individual case, it's hard to assess if the station is a bit overzealous. It's up to the car owner to ensure that the car is presented in a testable condition. Not too much to expect, is it? No, it isn't. No, it isn't at all. And again, very insightful comment from somebody in the know. At the end of the day, that's what these videos end up doing. I go by what the press reports and I check it in 2 or 3, sometimes 4 different places. I actually have a list of news links so I can compare it. Now, I will never publicly go with anything if it looks like it's going to be no good or a non-starter. Every now and again, you get stories like this, and it does actually generate constructive, brilliant comments, and they're educational. Kelli, I don't doubt for 1 second there'll be some vehicles that simply can't be tested, either faulty locks, unopening boots, bonnets, etc. But come on, out of 23 million, the numbers refused is a pathetically small percentage. Yeah, I mean, out of the numbers, you're absolutely right there. It just seemed a bit odd to me at the time, but with the insight given by the last couple of comments, definitely. Martin D, morning Andy, I'm a self-employed mechanic. I've never seen parts go up in price so much in all the years I've been self-employed. But in the last few years, the Americans have bought all our motor factories and are manipulating the market. If we ignore the car fires, nothing to see here at the Mo, then refuse an MOT, then overpriced parts and pay per mile, eventually no car on the road, in my opinion. Everything will be priced off the road. It is getting expensive. I mean, my mechanic is VAT registered as well. So I end up having to pay VAT on my repair bills a lot of the time. And you know what? I don't begrudge it because I've used the same guy for 20 years and I wouldn't trust anyone else in my cars. It's all about the relationship and the value and everything else. And he does a good job every time. Right. Let's have a look at another one. With this type of statistic, you need to go back 10 years to see if this is a steadily creeping up problem or a sudden shooting up type of issue. The trick is to establish a normal baseline for refusals before judging the thousands of refusals very recently. Again, too true. Just another guy, to be honest. Back in the 80s, I would take my battered old Escort. I remember battered old Escorts to an MOT if it was raining heavy and make sure I drove it through mud so the tester wouldn't want to spend much time under it. It'd be as simple as that. It's too dirty and I'm not allowed to scrape the mud off to inspect, so I'm refusing the test. Doors not opening is a fail anyway, so they've saved you money. Brakes too far gone, so the vehicle is unsafe, etc., etc. Sometimes people just try to get crap heaps through an MOT. My mechanic told me that, you know, they're not physically allowed to remove anything. It's got to be what they can see, what they can visually see and inspect, which is interesting. Britt Bazza. Hi, Andy. As a former car body repair worker, the reason a car is refused an MOT is because if a car has been in an accident and the doors don't open, or if the boot or bonnet simply doesn't open, then they can't be properly inspected for safety reasons, either because the doors closed could hide a massive structural rot problem, or a non-opening boot lid can't allow the boot floor or spare tyre to be inspected, along with a non-opening bonnet can't allow the tester to have access to the engine. It's all about common sense, really. If a part of a car isn't easily accessible, then the area of the car could be in a poor state of repair or not be accessible for basic maintenance, hence why these cars are refused their MOT. This is actually quite a common occurrence because people are actually rather stupid or try to be clever by not allowing access to that part of the car to hide something when they put their cars in for an MOT. Having access to all areas of the car is the first basic rule for an MOT tester to obey. MOT testers are actually liable if a car goes out on the road in an unsafe condition, and if they allow a car to go onto the road with a huge area of a structural part of a car either rotted away or not in existence, and the car is involved in an accident in which people are killed, then the MOT tester could effectively go to prison for allowing that car on the road in the first place. Hence, they need to have access to all the areas, to everything on a car presented for an MOT. Again, a great comment. Thank you. Michael Hawkins. Hello, Andy. This item also caught my eye, but on reading further, I considered the title just clickbait. We really shouldn't be surprised if a car is refused an MOT if the mechanic can't get to it. Also, if it's in a condition deemed to be dangerous, why even put it on the ramp? Stories like this just give fuel to the conspiracy theorists out there, but then I guess that is why they are designed to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, the comments that I've received from all of you on that video are great, because there's a lot of industry professionals out there who have commented, or former industry professionals have commented and given great insight, and it's brilliant, and that's what it's all about. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to me, Andy the Cabby. Hit the like button, leave your comment, share the content. I'll see you soon with one more. Toodaloo.